Projects that build things like roads, electricity systems, water pipes, and railways. Such systems are very important for our countries like India, not just India, but like any country. These are called development projects, and they help the country grow faster. And when such projects are when such projects are done well, they help in creating more jobs, they help in reducing poverty. They also support industries like farming and manufacturing. They improve people's living standards. They make trade with other countries easier and they protect the environment. These development projects, they can be put into three main categories. Firstly, public utilities project, and then public works project, and then transport projects. So the public utility projects, these include services which we use every day in our day-to-day life, like electricity, phone lines, and clean water through pipes. And we also need toilets, drainage system, garbage collection, and cooking gas through pipelines. These are all like some services which we need in our day-to-day life, in our everyday life. So they are called public utilities projects. And then we have public works projects. These are the large-scale building projects like roads, highways. It also includes dams, canals, and also it includes systems to stop flooding and manage the rainwater. So these are all public works projects. And the transport projects includes those which are about making travel and transport easier. It includes services like railways, ports. Ports are for ships and cargo, and then we have airports, etc. So these type of projects, they don't just help one part of the country. They help the whole economy grow, whether it's agriculture, industry, or services. They also help India connect with other countries by improving the exports and imports. Principles governing development projects. To make sure these development projects are successful, they must be very well managed. It's not enough to just build things or, we have to build them smartly. It's not just about I'll just build and it will help in development. We need a proper plan. It needs to be built smartly in order to get maximum benefits out of them. And also experts like those at the World Bank, they suggest few important principles for doing this right way. So they include manage projects like business. Instead of running projects like a slow government offices, which focuses too much on the rules, they should be run like a business. So think of people as customers who need good services. For example, if people want clean water or better roads, the system should respond quickly and efficiently, just like a good business would. And also, it should allow competition. If there's competition, people will have more choices. Different companies or service providers, they will try to offer better and cheaper services. This also puts pressure on them to do better work because they now have competitors and then they want people to buy them. So that it will create a pressure on them to do better work so that they want the customers to choose them over others. And then we have involved stakeholders. So the people who use the services like electricity or transport, it should be included in planning. Like local people, citizens, and communities, they should have a say in how services are designed and run. And sometimes, even in deciding where to build or how to spend money, public opinion can make better decisions. So, stakeholders are the people who are getting affected by those services. So, they should have the freedom, they should have the right to involve in this development process. They should be able to say like what they want and how the design should be and where these projects should be set up and etc. So we should involve stakeholders. And fourthly, encourage public-private partnership. Big development projects are often too expensive for the government to do alone. So the government will work with private companies to share the costs and the efforts. This is called as public-private partnership. For example, a private company may build and run a toll road, and later they will hand it over to the government. But the government must be careful because any promises made to the private companies, it should be very fair and transparent. And also we should ensure accountability. The government must make rules and policies to protect people, especially the poor. These rules should make sure that services are fairly priced and the environment is not harmed, and also that people are not ignored or displaced without proper help. Whether a service is run by the government or a private company, there should always be someone responsible and answerable if the things go wrong. So, why do we need rehabilitation and resettlement? Why is it important? Often, these big projects they require land. People may be asked to leave their homes. They may ask to leave vacate their farms or villages to make to make space for roads or even to make space for dams, factories. This is where the rehabilitation and resettlement will come in. So basically, rehabilitation means helping people adjust to the new conditions after they have lost their land, homes, or even jobs. And resettlement means giving them new places to live along with the facilities like schools, water, electricity, and healthcare. So basically, rehabilitation means helping the people to adjust to the new condition, and resettlement means giving them new places to live. So without proper rehabilitation and resettlement, development projects can cause more harm than good, especially to the poor and tribal communities who depend a lot on the land and forests. That's why every project must have a clear plan to support the affected families. Sector-wise development projects. So the development projects are plans and the actions taken by the government or the other agencies to improve the country. These projects are divided into different sectors like public utilities, public works, transport sector, which we have discussed earlier. And each of this sector, it focuses on specific area that helps improve the lives of people, increases jobs, and boost the country's growth. Let us now look at each sector and the major projects under them in a detailed way. So the public utilities projects, these are the projects that give us basic services which we use every day, like electricity, telecommunication. So, firstly, we have power projects under public utilities projects. So, these projects are about making electricity using different methods. Electricity is needed in every home now, in even every farm, every industry, schools, and offices. We basically need electricity everywhere now. So, for that, we have thermal power plants. In these thermal power plants, they make electricity by burning the coal. About 65% of India's electricity comes from such thermal power plants. And the big ones include like Vidyanchal, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and we have Mundra in Gujarat, we have Sasan in Madhya Pradesh, and we have Tiroda in Maharashtra, and Talcher in Odisha. And then we have hydropower projects. These use the flowing water to generate electricity. It's clean and it doesn't pollute. For that, we have Tehri Dam in Uttarakhand, which is the highest in India, and we have Srisailam Dam, which is the second largest in India, and Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, which is very important for Telangana and AP, and we have Sardar Sarovar Dam, on Narmada River in Gujarat. And also we have nuclear power plants. These nuclear power plants, they use atomic energy to make electricity. So we have nuclear power plants at Kundankulam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Kaiga in Karnataka, and Narora in Uttar Pradesh. And we also have solar power projects. They use the sunlight to make electricity. So they are in Kamuti Solar Park, which is in Tamil Nadu. It's the world's largest solar park. And also Telangana has solar projects of 3.2 gigawatts capacity. So these are all under power projects for electricity and the projects under telecommunications sector. This sector is about communication using signals like phone calls, internet, and radio. It helps connect people across the country and the world. It helps improve services and increase jobs. It is useful in banking, education, hospitals, and companies. We have different types of telecom networks, like we have internet, and we have telephone networks, we have radio and TV, and computer networks. Now let's look into public works projects. These public works projects, these include the construction of roads, dams, and canals. They are helpful for transport, farming, and water supply. So under this, we have road projects. So India's national highways carry about 40 percentage of the traffic, even though they are only 1.8 percentage of the total roads. So it is managed by NHAI and PWD. And in the new numbering system, north-south roads have even numbers, increasing from north to south. And we have irrigation projects and dams. India has over 4,300 big dams. These dams help in storing water, generating power, and supporting farming. So some of the dams are Tehri Dam, which is the eighth highest in the world. We have Idukki Dam in Kerala. We have Green Anicut, which is the oldest dam in the world, and etc. These dams are useful, but they also have some problems. They affect rivers and forests, and the animals lose their homes, and the people may have to leave their villages because of the displacement. Also, the environment may be harmed if not planned properly. Projects under transport sector. This sector deals with how people and goods move from one place to another by train, ship, or airplane. First, we have railway projects. India has the fourth largest railway network in the world, and it carries 8 billion passengers and 1 billion tons of goods every year. Indian Railways also has 13 lakh employees, and 49% of routes are electrified. And we have metro systems in cities like Delhi, Hyderabad, Mumbai, etc., which are really growing very fast. And still more trains and better infrastructure are needed. And we have ports. India has a 7,500-kilometer coastline, and we have 13 major ports, around 200 small ports, and 95% of India's trade, it happens through the sea. And some of the major ports are in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. The government allows 100% foreign investment in port building. And we have airports, which are managed by Airports Authority of India, AAI. And the AAI handles international airports, domestic airports, air traffic control, and safety. India has many airports and is building more to meet the rising travel demand. And we have partnership in development. Development projects are done by multiple groups working together, like central government, state governments, private companies, NGOs, and international bodies like World Bank and Asian Development Bank. Most importantly, the support of local people is very necessary. Without people's cooperation, even the best project can fail. So their help is needed in giving land, in accepting the resettlement plans, and in understanding the benefits of the project. Operationalization of development projects. So what is operationalization? When we plan a development project like a dam, road, railway line, airport, or power plant, it has to move from paper to reality. And the process of making the project a real and working is called operationalization. It means buying the land needed, it means starting the construction, also setting up systems and machinery which are needed, and finally starting the actual work of the project. But for all this to happen, we need to take care of many things. So some important things to consider before starting a project are firstly, getting the land legally. So the government or company must buy the land legally from the people who own it. And this should be done very fairly by giving proper money, which is the compensation, to those who lose the land. And also for helping displaced people. Many projects force people to leave their homes. So these people lose land, homes, and sometimes jobs. And the government must rehabilitate and resettle them. This means giving them new lands or homes, helping them find new jobs, making sure that their lives are not worse after the project. And also planning the project structure. So how will the project be built? Who will build it? How much it will cost? Where will the money come from? All of this should be planned very properly and carefully. And understanding the demand. So we need to really understand, is this project is really needed? Will people use the power, roads, or services that the project will provide? And also checking the risks and problem. So we should also keep a check of the risks and problems. And we should also follow all the rules. And we should also satisfy the public. These are some important things to consider before starting a project. The problems faced by displaced people. Whenever land is taken for big projects, many families are forced to leave. These people face many problems, like loss of homes, land, and income. They may also not get compensation sometimes, or they get very less compensation. And also, they will have that emotional pain of leaving their native villages. And also, they struggle to adjust in the new places. And they may not have proper jobs or education which are necessary in the new area. And there may also be the lack of support from government or society. These people often become poorer than before, which is very unfair. That is why a proper rehabilitation and resettlement is very necessary. So, why the quality and the ethics matter? Even if the project is completed, it must be useful to the people. It must be affordable. It must be finished on time. And it should be done ethically without corruption. If it's not of a good quality or if it is delayed, it can be a waste of money and time. So, why do we need rehabilitation and resettlement policies? Every year, millions of people in India are displaced because of development projects. Earlier, there were no proper rules to protect them. People were treated unfairly with little or no compensation. That's why the government made special policies to help these people. These policies make sure that people are given houses, land, and jobs, that they are trained to earn again, and their living standard improves, and that they are treated with dignity. Before 1947, which is during the British rule, there was a law called Land Acquisition Act 1849, sorry, 1894, Land Acquisition Act 1894. Under this law, the government could take land by force for public purposes, and people had no power to say no. There was no plan also for their resettlement. And after 1947, in independent India, land became a subject under both center and states. Even state made its own rules. For many years, there was no national policy for rehabilitation and resettlement. And displaced people they continued to suffer. So the National Rehabilitation and Resettlement Policy 2003 was introduced. This was India's first big step to protect people affected by the projects. It reduces displacement as much as possible. It gives people good compensation. It provides training and job opportunities. And it also gives extra help to the weaker sections like SCs, ST. And it respects people's rights and involves them in decisions. And then we have the Rehabilitation and Resettlement Bill 2007. This was proposed law to make the policy stronger. It says that projects must do a social impact assessment before starting, and a special officer called administrator would handle the rehabilitation and resettlement policy. Resettlement. And the minimum benefits must also be given, like land, house, training, and jobs. There would be a system for complaints and appeals, and civil courts could not interfere in these matters. And then we have the Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation, and Resettlement Act 2013. This law replaced the 1894 Act and became the India's most important land law. It combines the land acquisition and rehabilitation and resettlement in one law. Under this, the social impact assessment is compulsory, and the clear rules for compensation and consent is also there are clear rules mentioned for the compensation and the consent. So basically, this is a combination of land acquisition and rehabilitation and resettlement. Implementation of development projects. These are some major concerns in the implementation of development projects. So basically, when the government or private companies start big development projects like building highways, airports, dams, etc., there are many things they need to take care of. These projects are not simple. They affect land, they affect people, they affect environment and money. Now let's look at some major concerns and challenges that must be handled carefully during implementation. Firstly, participation of private sector. Today, many projects are not done by the government alone. Private companies are being asked to help, and these companies design, build, and run the projects. But some people worry that will private companies care about the people, or do they only focus about the profit? And also some people worry that will they deliver good services or will they increase prices unfairly? So the displaced people and activists, they are especially concerned that the privatization may ignore the poor people's rights and make the public services expensive. And we have unbundling of projects. Large projects are often too big to handle all at once. So they should be broken down into smaller parts or tasks. For example, what kind of assets will be built? Who will maintain the machines and how will the services be delivered? This step-by-step planning, it will help everyone understand what needs to be done, when, how, and by whom. And we have regulatory reform. If private companies are involved, we need rules and regulations. Why do we need rules and regulations? We need them to stop these private companies from having too much power or make sure that quality and the fairness are maintained, and also give them some freedom to operate efficiently. But creating such a balance is tricky. The system should allow companies to make money, but not let them cheat the public or ignore the rules. And fourthly, we have project structuring. Every project needs a clear structure, like who will invest money, how much it will cost, who will manage which part. And the structure must be good for investors. So they are willing to put in money and it should be beneficial for the public. If this balance is not there, either no one will invest or the project will not serve people properly. And the fifth concern we have is project appraisal and financing. Before starting a project, we must judge whether it will succeed or not. This is called project appraisal. Instead of just checking land and buildings, we must see will the project make enough money over time and how will the money be collected and who will take the risk if the project fails. These are some tough decisions, but they are very important for the success. Project completion and implementation. One of the biggest problems in India is that projects get delayed, and the reasons for delay are poor planning, land problems, lack of money, corruption, or simply a bad management. And the delay means more costs, and people suffer longer, and sometimes the project never finishes. Also, even after completion, services must reach the people properly. So, why are these development projects important? Projects like roads, airports, dams, power plants, etc. They help in producing more goods, electricity, creating jobs, improving transport, and helping the economy grow. And the central and the state government are working on many such projects, especially after the 1991 economic reforms, liberalization. Now, the government often partners with private companies through public private partnerships, and sometimes even foreign companies invest. This has helped the country develop faster, but also brings new problems. As we discussed, these are also new problems like displacement and rehabilitation and etc. So basically, we need development, but it must be very fair, inclusive, and responsible. The projects must be very well structured, it should be completed in time, and it should be beneficial for everyone, not just the rich companies. A good development project is the one that brings growth without causing the harm. So we have completed Unit 13. Let's look into Unit 14, digitalization. In today's world, we are all more connected than ever, and the idea of a global village has become a reality. One of the key factors behind this global interconnectedness is the development of information and communication technology. Over the last few years, the rise of digitalization, which refers to the widespread use of connected digital services by consumers, by businesses, and by governments, it has become a major driver of social and economic progress in both developed and developing countries. And to fully take advantage of benefits of digitalization, policymakers must create strategies to digitize various sectors of the society and fostering the growth of necessary capabilities and economic enablers. This will help ensure that the impact of digitalization is maximized. In India, digitalization has rapidly gained momentum due to increased internet access, the widespread use of smartphones, tablets, and other digital gadgets, and our now growing online consumer base. This growth has given a huge boost to e-commerce. The rise of digital technologies has had a significant effect on productivity and the overall social and economic standards in the country. By advancing digitalization, India aims to compete with more developed economies, create jobs, and boost its GDP, all of which contributes to the nation's socio-economic development. Additionally, digitalization has brought about social changes in lives of everyday Indians. The government of India has taken a significant step by launching the Digital India Initiative, which aims to modernize society and connect every corner of the country. Let's now take a closer look at what digitalization means and its various facets in India. Meaning and definition. Digitalization refers to the process of converting traditional paper based documents and systems into digital formats. This shift to electronic systems reduce the time required to process information, minimize errors, and enhance the transparency. It can make organizations more efficient and competitive. In simpler terms, when we talk about the digitalization of administration, we are referring to the shift towards electronic filing, electronic documentation, promoting information sharing through the digital networks in government administration. This can include communications, not just between government offices, but also between government officers, and citizens. And here we have a definition by Katz in 2014 that the economic and social transformation triggered by the massive adoption of digital technologies to generate, process, share, and transact information. Significance and benefits of digitalization. Digitalization has a significant impact on economic growth and job creation across the world. It has helped boost economic performance even in challenging economic conditions. However, its effects are different depending on the level of development of a country or sector. In developed economies, digitalization often improves productivity and leads to the measurable economic growth, although it can also cause job losses in some sectors. And on the other hand, emerging markets like India, they tend to benefit more from digitalization impact on the job creation than from its effect on economic growth. Digitalization in administration, it aims to make processes more convenient for the public and simplify administrative tasks and improve efficiency and transparency using technology. By digitizing various processes, governments can also improve services, they can save money and enhance the quality of life for citizens. And the digital governments are better equipped to meet the changing needs of citizens and businesses, even as the challenges become more complex. So, the role of policymakers. A critical question that policymakers may need to address is how to maximize the adoption and use and impact of digitalization, how to maximize this. And they need to actively promote the development of digital markets where most of the world's information and goods will be bought and sold in the coming decade. While policymakers have previously focused on improving the availability and affordability of ICT services, information communication technology, information and communication services, the future will require them to create digital economies that provide competitive advantages to the citizens, businesses, and the entire sectors. So, some of the key benefits of digitalization are firstly cost saving. By streamlining processes and reducing reliance on paper based systems, organizations can save money on resources, time, and labor. And it also improves the business processes. Digitalization leads to quicker, more efficient business operations, helping companies deliver services and products faster and more effectively. And another benefit is better data and analytics. Digital systems allow for stronger business information management and improved analysis and better control over processes. And we have automation. Processes like document sharing, collections, and payments, they can be automated. reducing manual labor and increasing accuracy. And we have increased transparency. Digital systems promote transparency, which opens up new opportunities for credit models and other financial innovations. And we have environmental benefits. Digitalization can also contribute to a better sustainable profile by reducing the paper usage and promoting eco-friendly practices. And we have higher productivity and competitiveness. Digital tools can improve overall productivity, giving businesses and nations the edge they need to stay competitive in global market. Digitalization and governance. In today's digital age, citizens and businesses expect government information to be easily accessible online with little to no cost. Across the world, governments are striving to meet these expectations by offering various online services. More than 140 countries have already launched online services for their citizens. However, despite these advancements, most governments have not yet fully realized the potential benefits of digitalization. To fully capture these services and benefits, governments must move beyond their offering online services through e-government portals. They need to digitize the broader aspects of government operations and processes. This means improving productivity, fostering collaboration, scaling up services, increasing efficiency, and encouraging innovation. Some of the key considerations of digitizing government are: firstly, engaging citizens and businesses. Government needs to build core capabilities to engage with citizens and businesses effectively. This involves providing easy to access services, processes, and communication channels. And we have organization enablers. These are the supportive structures that help make digital transformation happen. They include technology, leadership, and a strong governance framework. So the digitizing government requires to focus on two main areas. Firstly, engaging citizens and businesses, and organizing enablers. So these are the four key capabilities in digitalizing government. When the governments think about digitalizing their operations, they typically focus on four key capabilities: services, processes, decisions, and data sharing. Governments use digital tools to improve interactions with citizens and businesses. The focus here is on understanding the needs of the users. Governments must be flexible and willing to redesign services, policies, and processes around what citizens expect and need. So it's about services. And now let's look into processes. Behind the scenes behind the scenes processes in government, such as record keeping and administrative tasks, which offer the greatest potential for productivity gains. The challenge is that these processes are often too complex. Government should prioritize digitizing high volume, labor intensive, and costly processes first. We have decisions. Governments can leverage big data and analytics to improve decision making in critical areas such as defense, public safety, health, and others, and data sharing. Transparency is key to building trust in government. By sharing data effectively and securely, governments can foster greater civic engagement and improve public confidence. Data sharing enables better coordination between various government agencies and offers citizens more access to public information. And these are the four enablers for transformation. Firstly, strategy, governance and organization, leadership and talent and culture, and we have technology. And then we have some challenges. The study conducted by the Hertie School, they identified three major points regarding the digital public administration. Firstly, effective governance structure, investment in staff and management, and showcasing success stories. Effective governance structure. A centralized body with enough authority, resources, and decision making power is essential to coordinate digital transformation across all levels of government. Clear guidelines, standardized procedures, and adequate financial resources are necessary to ensure successful digitalization. A well planned, a well defined plan with responsibilities, deadlines, and a legal framework for digitalization is also required. Then we have investment in staff and management. Successful digitalization relies on well trained employees and leadership in public administration who are passionate about innovation, and the governments must offer incentives to attract skilled workers and invest in training programs for existing staff to equip them with necessary skills and showcasing success stories. Digitalization must not be seen merely as an expense. It should be viewed as an investment in the future. Government should focus on tangible benefits that citizens, businesses, and policymakers can see and experience. Success stories help illustrate how digitalization improves productivity, reduces costs, and enhances the services for the public. When the public sees the positive impact of digital services, it builds confidence and support for continued digital transformation. Digitalization in India. India's digital transformation it began in early 1900s and 2000 with various e-governance programs. While these initiatives were set up in the right direction, their impact on citizens was limited. It is important to distinguish between e-governance and digital governance. E-governance basically uses information and communication technology to improve the governance, while the digital governance integrates the information and communication technology at the core of the public sector modernization and transforming processes across government functions. In 2014, India ranked 118th out of 182 countries in the UN e-government rankings, which indicates a significant gap in the digital governance. However, a World Bank report reveals that broadband penetration in India has the potential to increase GDP by 1.4 percentage for every 10 percentage increase in broadband penetration. It highlights the importance of digital infrastructure for economic growth. While India has the third highest number of internet users in the world, the penetration is still low, only with 12.58 percentage of the population connected. Despite these challenges, the improved telecom infrastructure, availability of skilled manpower, and increasing government support, they have helped India become an emerging player in the digital economy. The government's Digital India initiative is central to those efforts, aiming to transform governance through technology and boost growth in areas like manufacturing, employment, electronic services, and e-justice and products. So India initiative, the Digital India initiative is a comprehensive plan with a vision to transform the country through digital empowerment. Unlike earlier efforts, Digital India brings together various departments and programs under a unified, centrally monitored execution plan. Both public and private sectors they play a significant role in achieving this vision by providing services like branchless banking, remote health and education, skill development, and e-justice. So the three key visions are firstly infrastructure as a utility to every citizen. and governance and services on demand, and then digital empowerment of citizens. These are the three key vision areas of Digital India. Then we have digitization in Telangana. Telangana has embraced digital governance and has initiated several projects which are aimed at improving governance and citizens' access to the services. The state's digitalization efforts have made it a leader in field of governance reforms. And these are some key initiatives. Firstly, we have digitalization of files, digitalization of land records, establishment of digital resource center, and digitalization of historical records, and MOUs with Google India. These are some key initiatives in digitalization in Telangana. And in the state level digital innovations, several Indian states, including Telangana, are making significant strides in using digital tools to improve governance, particularly in sectors like healthcare, education, and public services. They include smart metering and energy efficiency, and we also have healthcare and education. Challenges of digitalization. So, some of the key challenges are firstly digital illiteracy. We also have slow internet speed, and there's also inadequate infrastructure in our country. And there's also taxation and regulatory challenges. And there's a digital divide. Digital divide means there's a significant gap between the urban and rural India in terms of digital access. While cities have better access to the internet and digital services, the rural areas they still face issues related to connectivity and digital literacy. And then we have language barriers. It is a lack of digital services in local language. It is a significant challenge to digital literacy. And then we have cyber security concerns. These are some challenges of digitalization in India. So some of the recommendations are to promote digital literacy. And also other recommendation is improving the infrastructure and addressing the digital divide and simplifying regulatory framework and the cyber security improvements by strengthening cyber security. So the digitalization has emerged as a major driver of socio-economic growth globally, which is offering numerous benefits for citizens, governments, and economies. By transitioning from by transitioning from traditional paper-based systems to electronic formats, governments can enhance services, reduce costs, and improve citizens' quality of life. In India, Digital India is a transformative initiative that has potential to improve governance and empower citizens through technology. States like Telangana have already leveraging digital tools to improve governance and provide better access to services. However, significant challenges such as poor infrastructure, low internet speed, digital illiteracy, and regulatory issues must be addressed to realize the full potential of digitalization. The success of digitalization in India depends on collaborative effort between government, private sector, and citizens with focused policy changes and with infrastructure development and digital literacy programs. By overcoming these challenges, India can unlock new opportunities for economic growth, for public service delivery, and citizen empowerment. So, we have also finished the Unit 14. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Okay, then, thank you.